Hey, folks, we are back at it again. Today, Mr. Fuentes talks about why he's a Democrat. As always, please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Leave a comment. Really appreciate it. It really helps. Thank you so much. Now let's get right into it.
Show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Wednesday. We have a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show. We actually have some news tonight. Our featured story, we are talking all about, get a load of this. This is something that I don't even see a lot of people talking about, but it's a really big deal. And it's part of why I switched parties. Part of why I'm so proud now to be a Democrat in 2026. And our featured story is all about a group of...
Now, he says that, and he's got a little gleam in his eye there that I can see, and maybe you can see too, that makes me think that he's being maybe a little mischievous, maybe a little sarcastic about this "I'm a Democrat" thing.
Of House Democrats, led by Joaquin Castro, another Hispanic Latino Democrat. They wrote a letter to the Trump government, and they are now demanding that the U.S. government expose and acknowledge that Israel maintains an arsenal of nuclear weapons. Holy based? How could anybody vote Republican? How could anybody be a Republican in 2026? What do they even do? What do they even do other than exonerate Jewish pedophiles, steal money, give amnesty to illegal aliens? What does the GOP even do? This is
all due respect. Those Jewish pedophiles were voting Democrat. I don't think that they were registered Republicans.
This is why I'm a proud Afro-Latino Democrat. Yes, a group of 20 House Democrats sent a letter to the White House, and they say they will publish the president's response. And they say that it is a national security risk to maintain the ongoing policy of ambiguity regarding Israel's nuclear arsenal. Because, as you may or may not know, Israel does maintain a nuclear arsenal, 200 to 300 nuclear warheads deliverable by missiles, potentially also submarines. I don't believe they have a full triad. They don't have a strategic air force, but they do have Jericho missiles and submarines to deliver warheads. And they've had this capability since the mid-1960s. It has been the official policy of the U.S. government since the Nixon administration. We're basically in league with Israel. We have agreed with them to not disclose the existence of their arsenal. And so to this day, even though it is established fact that they have nuclear bombs, we will not acknowledge it as a matter of policy. And this is effectively just a courtesy to Israel. And this gives them more options, more maneuverability from a strategic point of view against their enemies over the years, like the Egyptians, the Syrians, and then eventually the Iraqis and the Iranians.
I guess Nicholas doesn't have many friends, but that's what you do when you're bros, right? You keep each other's secrets, you have each other's backs. And so the United States and Israel, they're like that. And of course, the United States is not going to narc on Israel for whether or not they have nuclear capabilities. It's done for strategic reasons.
The Democrats now say that in this current conflict with Iran, to not acknowledge or disclose Israel's nuclear status actually increases the risk of a strategic miscalculation. It's impossible for us or for any nation to know what Israel's red lines are in a conflict because we're unsure of their capabilities. We won't acknowledge them. And so, for example, what happens if Israel's air defenses are overwhelmed, missiles are raining down on Israel, maybe even Iranian missiles are attacking Israel's nuclear facilities? Question, at what point does Israel deploy a nuclear weapon in that scenario?
Yeah, so ding dong, here's the answer to your question is you're not supposed to attack Israel full stop. So I don't know what Nicholas's beef is with Israel. Is it because it's a Jewish state? I know that he's an anti-Semitic, whatever. Or is it Israel as a government? He just doesn't like it. He thinks it's Palestinian land over there.
How overwhelmed, what constitutes an existential threat, which of their capabilities would need to be imperiled or compromised. When does Israel use that red button? When do they use the nuclear option? It's almost impossible for anybody to even speculate as long as there is not transparency. And this is jeopardizing diplomacy. It increases the risk of miscalculation. And it makes the entire situation far more dangerous for the United States and American soldiers in the region. This is the argument from the Democrats. So they are demanding that the Trump administration change the policy and disclose to the whole world and acknowledge that Israel is a nuclear power, that they are not a signatory on the NPT, and they've got weapons.
So fair enough. I mean, yeah, if it would help diplomacy, then yes. You talk with Israel, you say, look, guys, we can't do this anymore. We have to admit it, all right? The jig is up. But really, is this what the Democrats are really after? Or is this just another play to show that Donald Trump is in the pocket of Israel? Because there's no way that this letter of 20 Democrats is going to make a difference. And they know that it won't. So they want to draft this letter, get it out into the public, make Trump respond, and then when he doesn't, they go, ha, he's in Israel's pocket.
It's a pretty big deal. And it's not a lot of Democrats, but like I said, it's about 20 Democrats in the House that sent the letter. And this is part of overall a change in the Democratic Party posture. It's been going on since the Biden administration. They're trying to meaningfully restrain Israel by shutting down the types of weapons we give them and how much foreign aid we give them, and scrutinizing their actions in Gaza or Lebanon, up to and including now even putting pressure on this nuclear ambiguity policy. Just another reason I'm proud to be a Democrat. Every day they make me proud. I'm more and more pleased with my decisions. So we're going to talk all about that. That'll be our featured story. We're also going to talk tonight about the war in Iran, which looks like it may be winding down, although we have no idea. It could be winding down. It could be winding up. They say it's over, but technically it's still going on. They might be saying that for legal reasons. We have no idea. Trump says that a peace agreement is imminent. And I think that is literally the 5th time in the past 9 weeks that the press has said a diplomatic breakthrough is imminent. I saw that on Twitter somewhere. I think they said, I don't know the exact formulation. I think they said that's the 5th time in 9 weeks that they've said a peace deal is going to happen any day now. At the same time, we're also threatening to resume bombing in a week.
So it sounds like there has been progress in the last 9 weeks. There is no bombing. Maybe it is around the corner. I don't know. I would hate to think that we're about to wrap up this war, because it's really just getting started. And the price of oil has skyrocketed, which has been great for my homeland. We love to see it. War has always been beneficial. War has always been. And so this is something that I really don't understand about Nicholas Fuentes and the Fuentes followers is, if you're so anti-war, how are you Republican in the first place? Like, if this is the matter that has gotten you to jump ship from being MAGA to going over and voting for the Democrats, you've been on the wrong side this entire time. Republicans have always been pro-war, and there will always be war. It is the beginning of history. It is history. It is as old as prostitution. It ain't going anywhere.
The big development came today. Trump administration has submitted a new proposal to Iran to end the war. We expect a response from Iran in the next 24 hours. Trump says that Iran now has 1 week to work out a deal, or else we're going back to war and bombing them. You got all that? So it was a 48-hour deadline, a 5-day deadline, a 10-day deadline, 24-hour deadline, a 2-week ceasefire, an indefinite ceasefire. Now, today, we have another proposal. We're expecting the response in a day, but we're giving them a week. And the new proposal goes something like this. It says that Iran will agree to a 12-year moratorium on enrichment. They will receive immediate sanctions relief. We will remove the blockade of the strait as long as they open up the strait to commercial shipping. Trump administration says we're so close to a deal. It's literally, we're looping. We're looping. Trump says Iran really wants a deal more than anybody knows, more than anyone even knows. He said they really want a deal. And what does Iran say? Iran says the U.S. has given them a wish list of American demands. So that doesn't sound too optimistic.
Whose side are you on, Fuentes? Like, you believe the Iranian press release over your own government? I thought it was America first, man.
A new operation was announced on Sunday, Operation Freedom, where the U.S. was going to escort commercial vessels out of the Persian Gulf through the Strait.
Getting it done.
That was canceled after 2 days. We now learn that the reason this happened is because Saudi Arabia and Kuwait would not allow us to use their airspace to enforce the new operation. Saudi Arabia now, before they wanted us to keep the war going, now they want us to continue to pursue diplomacy through Pakistan. So it's a lot of bullshit. Okay. Nobody knows.
Truth.
The Secretary of State doesn't even know.
I'll give them that. I have no idea what's going on anymore, the ins and outs. Perhaps that was the plan, with just saying continuously that the thing is wrapping up and ceasefires and all these different plans, and people are just like kind of glazed over eyes. But I appreciate Mr. Fuentes trying to clear it up.
There's no plan here. It's cooked. It's cooked and it's over and it's a joke. But we'll talk about it a little bit tonight. We're going to get into it. All of this might need to be resolved by May 12th. Trump is supposed to visit Beijing in a trip to China. It was initially scheduled for the end of March, beginning of April, but they pushed it back because of the war. Trump is going out to China next week, and they say he wants this wrapped up or some progress by the time of that trip. So who knows? Maybe we'll see a breakthrough by next week. I don't know. Nobody knows. So we'll get into that. It's going to be a good show. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. Check out our merch store at Fuentes.store. We have our spring and summer collection. Part 2, imminent. Part 2, spring and summer collection might be coming out.
Imminent. Used it twice. End of war, imminent, and spring collection part 2. This is already the best part of the show.
Maybe in about a month. Who knows? We'll see. But check it out. It's Fuentes.store. If you want to support the show, subscribe at AmericaFirst.plus. $15 a month to get access to the archive. $100 a month to get access to the group chat with me. And I was in there all day today. I was in there all day chopping it up with the niggas, doing voice messages. I was in.
Is this why he has his reputation of being a racist? I mean, he's saying the N-word. I mean, everybody says the N-word. Everybody does. Every race, every person, white people, men, women, they're all saying the N-word. That's not a big deal. Saying it online, I will give you that. That is, I'm not going to do that. But this is just, this is what I would call low IQ racism. You know, I grew up in a small town. One day, an Indian family moved in, and when the kids came to school, they smelled of spices we had never smelled before, pungent from the cooking that they did at home. Now, since then, I've come to know and love these spices. Indian food is delicious. But for a small town, school, children, 15, 16 years old, the things that were said to that young woman, that new classmate of ours, it changed her as a person, I'm sure. The other girls wouldn't sit around her. You'd go into a classroom, you'd see her in the center, and then it was like almost like a war zone where you would see desks just in a circle 5, 6 feet away. The girls would openly remark that it stunk and that they were getting headaches. Now that is racism. And I wonder if Nick has ever gone that hard into the paint, or if he's just kind of saying pretty typical racist terms. I mean, everybody says they're in every song now, it's on the radio. I expect more, and I hope that I get more from Fuentes.
There all day, just chilling. So if you want to just hang out with me, the low price of $100 every month at AmericaFirst.plus. It's only for rich people. This is for drop shippers. This is for sports bettors. This is for polymarket winners. This is for winners. This is not for broke people. The other day I responded to a super chat.
Now, I'm not broke, so he's speaking to me. So I might have to join this for just $100 a month, and you get to chat with him. That's a pretty good deal.
Said, why does everybody hate the boomers? And I said, honestly, it's cope. It's young people that are coping for being broke. I said, it's actually easy to make money. You're just not smart enough to do it. And oh my gosh, everybody crashed out in the replies. People said, easy for you to say, you're just begging online for donations. That's not true. It's actually really hard. No, it's not. It's easy. You're just too stupid and lazy.
What a beautiful note to end on. The mediocrity of the American people in this day and age. Thank you, Nick Fuentes, for another great reel. I'm glad to be mooching off of your content. And to you at home who have stuck around to the very end of this video, once again, I implore you, please like, subscribe, comment. Let's chit chat about all this. Do you spend $100 a month? Do you got money like me to spend $100 a month to talk to Nick Fuentes? What's it like? What's he like in person, I wonder? Till next time.